going on? This is Luke Man, and today I want to talk about some picking styles because there's so many different styles of picking. There is the trifecta as used by Romeo, Jeff Loomis. These are guys that really blend together all the different styles of picking into one cool style where they don't really think so much about which picking they're doing anyway. And so those three are alternate picking, economy picking, and sweep picking. So a lot of people can sweep pick no problem, or at least they can in theory. Maybe I'll ask them, hey, why don't you show me some of the sweep picking stuff you've been working on? And they'll do it. And some of them can sweep pick though, but the thing that comes up a lot that I always end up reminding people is when you're sweep picking, that basically means that it's one fluid motion. You're getting anywhere from 2 to 6 notes for one stroke. I thought that would look like this. And it has that same technique whether you're going ascending or descending as well. It should be one fluid stroke. You can even hear it without any left hand. And what a lot of people miss there is what I call the rest stroke. And the rest stroke is basically what makes sweep picking happen. Often people will say, oh, okay, I'm sweep picking now, but when they do it, it doesn't look or sound anything like sweep picking because they're forgetting this one technique. Or maybe they've been playing it for a while, but they just can't get it up to speed. The reason they can't get it up to speed is this reason exactly. It's the fact that they're not snapping to the next string. I keep calling it snapping. That's what I call it, snapping or clicking. You play through the string. So right now, on the A string, my 5th string, my finger is sustaining that note. But my pick is one step ahead of it. It's sitting on the D string. It's waiting for when I play the D string. And when I play the D string, guess where my pick is? It's one step ahead of it. Now it's on the G string. Same thing when I play the G string. Now it's sitting on the B string. It's just chilling. One step ahead, always. Same thing when I come back, just in reverse. If I play the E string is still ringing out, but guess where my pick is? It's on the B string. It's waiting at the next string. Alright, that one little thing will fix all of your sweep picking problems. Because once you get the form down, it's easy money. That's how you can get it incredibly fast. Because sweep picking is such an efficient way of picking things that are one note per string, or maybe 2 notes per string, and then a bunch of strings that also have just one note on them. And a lot of people mess it up because they make all these extra picking motions. Alright, so fix that. Do it really slow. You don't even have to do it with a click. You can do it unaccompanied. Just do it slow enough and watch your hand. Oh, okay, it snaps onto the next string. Just make sure it's actually doing that. You can watch your right hand, make sure it does that. Okay, another style of picking. At this point, when I'm working with someone and they say, oh yeah, I want to get faster, or I want to pick this, or whatever, I usually just ask them at this point, okay, well, why don't you just play me something alternate picked? I won't do the quotes because I'm not trying to be offensive with the people that I'm working with, but that's what I'm thinking in my head. I'm like, okay, sure, you're going to show me some alternate picking now. And so sometimes they do, sure, like, work with guys who are really good at the guitar. But then also people that are just starting out with, I work with as well. And they're like, yeah, I alternate pick it, of course. And what they play is like not alternate picked at all. Sometimes they go, okay, so you economy picked that. And they're like, what? What's economy picking mean? And yeah, it's perfectly fine. It's super normal. Like a lot of people pick this stuff up naturally. Like for instance, Yngwie Malmsteen or Jeff Loomis as well. He said yeah, the economy picking was something that just came naturally because it just made sense. You know, it just makes sense to follow the same stroke to the next string. And so I've seen people naturally, if I tell them, okay, play this, basically 3 notes on 2 strings, 3 notes on each string for 2 strings. Yeah, it makes sense to go down, up, down, down. And that's what economy picking would be. It would be that when you get, if you buy 3, you get 1 free. That's basically the whole principle behind it. So for the effort of 3 strokes, you get 1 extra pick stroke in there. And that works like this. You go down, up, down, down. And then if you continue, the way it works is you need to have odd numbers on each string. So you can have 1 or 3 or 5 or 7, whatever. But it works best to have 1 or 3 because, you know, we got small paws, or we only have 4 fingers. So if I play 3, 3, 3, 3, it works really well. So that would be like down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. And then same thing coming back. If you want to turn around, you need an extra note on there. You have to make an even number. Because once you have an even number, you'll turn around on another pick stroke that wasn't the same. So if I'm consistently down picking, yeah, right there, when I shift up 1 extra note, now it was 4 notes on a string, now I can turn around and come back the other way. So it's going to be up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And this is how you economy pick things, and this is a really natural feeling way to play this stuff. The only thing is, it's pretty limiting. It's very limiting actually, because you're confined to playing only odd numbers. I mean, there's some sickening cool licks and riffs that come from just playing odd numbers. For instance, yeah, that's all economy pick stuff. I really like this pattern. So that's 1 3 1 3 1 3. Coming back down, it's 3 1 3 1 3 1. And you can do the same thing. You could put 1 extra note so that you can get that turnaround effect. Yeah, that's a really cool couple of arpeggios right there. But, you know, besides that, what if you wanted to play something like this? Yeah, you couldn't really economy pick that because you end up with 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 5. I guess you could economy pick it if you keep on going forward. The problem is you keep going back to the other direction. You go, and economy picking is really good for flowing through, staying in the same direction. But I'm so ADD. When I play guitar, I like to bounce off the walls and then come back the other side. And when I say walls, what I mean is the edge of the fretboard. Whether it's this edge at the bottom or this edge at the top or these edges on either side. I like to go all the way up and then to turn around and come back. Some economy picking licks you can do that. Yeah, I would have more strings if possible. I used to, but it wasn't that great of a guitar, so now I don't. But anyway, yeah, that's the shtick with economy picking. It's a really cool technique to use, and if you're good at it, you can use it efficiently. Then you can end up playing this stuff really fast because there's less motion and the same amount of notes. And that's what everything in guitar playing is about. It's always about being really relaxed and getting the most bang for your buck possible. That's why there's also, I haven't even mentioned legato. I'm just talking about picking. Legato is when you barely use your pick at all. There's plenty of cool licks like that as well. That's just a bunch of hammer-on and pull-off stuff. I'm not going to explain that right now because that's not what I'm talking about. The other thing I'm talking about is straight alternate picking. This is, to me, creme de la creme. No, that's not true. The real creme brulee in this out of these 3, the holy trifecta, is all three of them. That's the creme de la creme, bro. Is to be able to switch around. Yeah, is to comfortably switch around between all of them. Yeah, so right there I was using a mixture of all three of them. And that's definitely a cool way to go about, or at least being able to do all of them. You know, if you can play some alternate picking licks. Yeah, I've found that just from experience, I've kind of picked and choose certain licks that I'll just use one picking style for or another. For instance, that's a mixture of like all three again. These are the coolest licks I know. So let's talk about alternate picking. It's basically just going up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down to infinity and beyond. And it's just the first style that I learned how to do, and I thought it was the only way to do it. Again, it cracks me up all the time. People are like, yeah, I'm alternate picking. It was actually me myself. I did that. I remember it was super egotistical at 11 years old, but learning the guitar, learning anything, there's this giant notion of the more you know you don't know. And so it's funny, it doesn't even matter to just guitar, but everything. When you're learning something and you're a total newbie at it, that's when you just want to tell everyone about it, and you want to tell them, you know, all the ways that they should be doing it, and this and that. And you know, I guess I was some sort of fascist, like alternate picking Nazi back in the day. Like, you must alternate pick this way if you don't have your papers. And now I'm just kind of like, you know, dude, if it works, like, let's just go with that. Especially when I'm working with a new client and I see, okay, they're really gifted naturally at this style or that style. Like, let's just run with that. You know, they want to play solos like XYZ, and XYZ does, you know, strictly alternate picking. Guess what? We'll find a way that it works. You know, I'd rather just have someone start to get great results right away and see themselves progressing than like, oh no, you have to do it this way, and this is the only way. Yeah. So that said, for me, I didn't even know about economy picking, and it cracked me up because this is the way that everyone just kind of like picks it up. All these great guitarists just pick up economy picking, like it just comes naturally to them. Yeah, not me at all. I was just so into guys like Michelangelo Badio, Paul Gilbert. All these guys were basically like, yeah, I'm gonna alternate pick it, you know. And honestly, we play so many 3-note per string scales as guitarists. Well, at least guitarists that are into, you know, playing fast. And it makes no sense because every single string, first you end on down, you go down, up, down. Every single string you alternate. Now it's going to be up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. That's why it makes sense to do economy picking, because then it's consistent. It's down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down. And that's a lot easier, theoretically. But I don't know, for me, I just, like, I was neurotic. Basically, if it, even if I wasn't doing like a particular passage, just if I was like holding this bend and I played that bend on a downstroke, the next time I play that string, it's gonna be an upstroke. Until I started to see guys like Satchel, they would pretty much just go. And I was like, what? You can just do like upstrokes continuously? And yeah, that kind of changed the game for me. After that, it was kind of more about like, or I noticed too, Satchel, he would phrase, he'd go like all down downstrokes, but it was cool. It sounded like so much style, and I was like, man, that's sick. I guess it doesn't really matter. After you train your alternate picking to a point. Now, when I was a young lad, I was learning how to play guitar. I would go to NAMM show, and I would hunt down every single guitarist that I knew was good at alternate picking. I'm talking about Gus G, Rusty Cooley, Uli John Roth, Michelangelo Badio, just to name drop a few. And I asked them all, like, how are you picking so fast? Like, please give me the answer to the only secret I care about at year 13 of my life, okay? Because I need to know right now. And they basically said, yo, dude, it's got to be consistent. That's what every single one of them said. I just watched Jeff Loomis' clinic recently, and he was like, you know, if you practice alternate picking, you gotta do standard. No, now I'm thinking of a different guitarist. But Jeff Loomis, he said, it has to be consistently up and down. And that's what so much of us miss, because so much of us don't have someone to be like, yo, you're doing it wrong. Like, if you talk to the people I work with, that's probably the most heard phrase. I have to reckon. But we were also checking out this guy Joe Stump just recently, because I was talking to my clients about economy picking, and Joe Stump sounds so funny, dude. He's got the East Coast thing going. He's like, oh, you know, standard 6-tuplet. Oh, you know, you got to do the sweep, and then the standard 6-tuplet. I don't remember exactly, like, I think it was something like that, but anyway, when I thought about that, I was like, oh my god, the standard 6-tuplet. Like, who says that? But that's so real. This is like a 6-tuplet that every single guitarist does as like the standard bass line. And what it is I'll show you patterns, all right, so you can apply it to any of your 3-note per string scales. It's to go down, up, down, up, down, up. And it's the highest note of the 3, the lowest note, the middle note, the highest note, the middle note, and then the lowest note. And the reason I say high, low, middle, low, is because it's not always going to be, you know, a minor third to a half step, a whole step, and a half step. Sometimes it'll be a major third to a whole step, you know, and so on, if any of that made sense to you. But yeah, that is the standard 6-tuplet. And that was the first alternate picking lick I ever learned. There was this cool site by Mika Tuska, this Finnish guitar player who also goes by Mr. Fastfingers, who I also met at the NAMM show. Guess what he said about alternate picking? Any guesses? Actually, I didn't talk to him about alternate picking. At that point, I knew how to alternate pick. I just stroked his ego because I think he's awesome. To this day, I think he's awesome. Yeah, so it's easy to alternate pick on one string. The problem is alternate picking on the other strings too. And that's where you have to worry about that whole down, and then up, down, up thing. And then there's 2 different types. There's this notion of inside picking versus outside picking. And I don't consciously select my picking styles based off of which lick I'm going to do, because I think that's a way to get yourself into trouble, to be honest. Because you can't, guitar playing is so random, it's so chaotic, as controlled and collected as it should be. You can't rely on wanting to do a certain lick starting on a certain stroke. No, completely the opposite. The best picking that I do, and when I coach my clients, the best picking that they do is when they don't think about their right hand at all, or their picking hand at all. It's actually when they think mostly about their left hand. Just let the right hand happen. This is what I constantly remind myself anytime I'm not playing something the way I want to, and it's what I tell them when I'm either coaching them or just reminding them. So inside picking would be like down, up, down, up, down, up, down. So you switch the string on the inside versus outside picking would be like you switch the string on the outside. Yeah, so it takes a little bit of work to master that transition on both sides. But once you do, you can isolate that movement. If you really are having consistent trouble with just switching over to the next string because it's up, or because it's down, or it's on the inside, or because it's on the outside, you can just isolate that change. You know, everyone knows these Paul Gilbert videos, right? Where he does this lick and then he doubles up on that lick. He's he's so gifted that he actually doubles up on that down, up on the inside of the string, which is the hardest part, is that switching from string to string part. Yeah, and it is easier to do outside picking objectively. Maybe I could get a good one on the inside. Yeah, the first time I didn't do it that great. Second time I thought less about my right hand. Again, I'm constantly reminding myself, like, don't think about your right hand too much. Yeah, so those are the 3 different picking styles, and if these different picking styles excited you and you want to know a bit more about them, well, the truth is, like, you already know everything there is to know about. It's not information you're seeking anymore, it's transformation that you're seeking at this point. So if you already know everything there is to know about these different picking styles, but you're still not playing them the way that you want to, we'll have a pretty interesting offer for you, actually. What you can do is, if you're watching this on Instagram, you can click the link in my bio. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you can click the link in the description. It's going to take you to an application page. Fill out that form, takes like 2 minutes, but you have to actually fill it out. Otherwise, I'm probably not going to give you a call now. If you can't fill out a form, like, how am I going to expect you to actually transform your guitar playing? I'm not. And you can also book the exact date and time for me to give you a call. On that call, we're going to be working together hand in hand to put together a step-by-step system for you to take your guitar playing from where it is right now, where you're really excited about a lot of these guys. They turn you on. You know, they make you inspired to play faster or play different styles, and get you to the other side where you can actually do it yourself. Alright, so if that sounds exciting for you, I'll talk to you very, very soon. If not, I won't talk to you very, very soon. Have a good night. Goodbye.